From the very beginning, they saw something in you that terrified them. They sensed the power within you, the light that could not be dimmed, the strength that could not be broken. And because they feared what you could become, they tried everything. In their power to stop you, they betrayed you. They turned their backs on you when you needed them most. They whispered behind your back, spread lies, and worked in the shadows to bring you down. They watched you struggle, knowing the truth, but refusing to stand up for you. They could have spoken. They could have defended you. They could have done what was right. But they chose silence, and yet, here you are, still standing, still rising, still proving them wrong. Isaiah 41:10 says, "So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." You did not need their support. You did not need their validation. You did not need their approval to become everything you were meant to be. They thought they had won. They thought they had buried you so deep that you would never rise again. But what they did not realize is that every betrayal was a setup for your breakthrough. Every attack was pushing you closer to your destiny. Every loss was creating space for something greater. They fought against you, but they were never just fighting you. They were fighting against something far greater. They were fighting against the divine plan that was placed on your life before you even took your first breath. They thought they were destroying you, but they were only making you stronger. Psalm 118:22 says, "The stone the builders rejected has become the cornerstone." You were never meant to fit in. You were never meant to be accepted by the crowd. You were chosen, set apart, destined for something that they could never understand. And now the shift has begun. They see it. They feel it. The very ones who tried to bring you down are now watching in disbelief as you rise. And no longer do you walk with uncertainty. No longer do you question your worth. No longer do you seek validation from those who never deserved your presence. You know who you are now. You see the truth clearly. John 8:32 says, "Then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." The truth is, their silence was never about you. It was about them. Their betrayal was never a reflection of your value. It was a reflection of their own weakness. They were never strong enough to stand beside you. They were never loyal enough to defend you. They were never worthy of walking this journey with you. And now they must watch. They must witness what happens when the chosen rise. They must see the tables turn. They must feel the weight of their own choices, because what was meant to break you only made you unbreakable. What was meant to silence you only gave you a voice. What was meant to bury you only planted the seed for your victory. Romans 8:31 says, "If God is for us, who can be against us?" They tried to stop you. They failed. They tried to erase you. They failed. They tried to keep you down. But the chosen ones do not fall. The time has come for you to step fully into your power, to walk boldly in your purpose, to claim everything that was always meant for you. This is your moment. This is your victory, and nothing will ever be the same again. For so long, they tried to pretend that what was done to you never happened. They acted as if your pain was invisible, as if the betrayal did not exist, as if their silence was justified. They knew the truth. They saw what was done to you. They watched as you suffered, knowing they could have done something, knowing they could have stood up, knowing they could have spoken, but they chose to turn their backs instead. At first, they thought they got away with it. They believed that as long as they ignored the truth, it would disappear. That as long as they stayed silent, it would never come to light. But the truth cannot be buried forever. And now, everything they tried to hide is being exposed. Luke 12:3 says, "There is nothing concealed that will not be disclosed, or hidden that will not be made known." What you have said in the dark will be heard in the daylight, and what you have whispered in the ear in the inner rooms will be proclaimed from the roofs. The light has come, and they can no longer run from it. They may try to act as if nothing has changed, as if they still have power over you, as if they can still manipulate the narrative. But inside, they are unraveling. The weight of their actions is catching up to them. The lies they told are beginning to fall apart. The mask they wore is slipping. The guilt is eating away at them. The fear of being exposed is tormenting them. And the most painful part, they are realizing that they never truly had control over your destiny in the first place. They thought they could stop you. They thought they could keep you in a place of pain forever. But the chosen ones do not stay broken. Psalm 37:28 says, "For the Lord loves the just and will not forsake his faithful ones." Wrongdoers will be completely destroyed. The offspring of the wicked will perish. Justice is unfolding, and they know it. They can feel the shift. They sense that their time is up. The very ones they mistreated are now walking into victory. The same people they doubted are now thriving. The ones they looked down on are now elevated. They never expected you to rise. They never expected you to recover. They never expected you to reach this level of wisdom, clarity, and power, and now they don't know what to do. They watch you from a distance, trying to figure out how you survived what was meant to destroy you. They analyze your every move, hoping to find a weakness, but they find nothing. The person they once had access to no longer exists. The version of you that tolerated disrespect, that gave endless chances, that stayed silent while being mistreated, that version is gone. You see them clearly now. You recognize their intentions. You understand their tactics. Ephesians 5:11 says, "Have nothing to do with the fruitless deeds of darkness, but rather expose them." You are no longer emotionally attached to their approval. You no longer seek their validation. You no longer need them to acknowledge their wrongdoing for you to move forward, because the victory has already been won. They are struggling to understand how you have become so strong. They wonder why their words no longer have power over you. They question why you are no longer emotionally invested in their games. It's because you have healed. What once hurt you no longer has access to you. What once drained your energy no longer affects you. What once kept you in a cycle of confusion has been broken. Psalm 23:5 says, "You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Your table is being set. Your blessings are being multiplied. Your elevation is unfolding right before their eyes, and the best part, you don't even have to seek revenge. You don't have to explain yourself. You don't have to prove anything. Their own actions are exposing them. Their own choices are turning against them. The weight of their betrayal is something they must carry on their own. The consequences of their actions are unfolding in real time, and you are free. Romans 12:19 says, "Do not take revenge, my dear friends, but leave room for God's wrath, for it is written, 'It is mine to avenge. I will repay,' says the Lord." You don't need to look back. You don't need to waste energy trying to make them understand. They are already feeling the consequences. Everything they did to try to block you is falling apart. The lies they told are being exposed. The schemes they planned are backfiring. The people they turned against you are starting to see the truth. And the truth is this: what God has for you, no one can take away. Isaiah 62:22 says, "When the time is right, I, the Lord, will make it happen. The time is now." The shift is happening. The chosen ones are rising, and for those who tried to stop you, the reality is setting in. They cannot undo what has already been written. They cannot escape the consequences of their choices. They cannot stop what God has put into motion. They will watch as you step fully into your purpose. They will witness your elevation. They will see with their own eyes that everything they did to harm you is only fuel for your greatness, and in that moment, they will realize that they never had power over you, because from the very beginning, you are always destined to win. You are no longer bound by their opinions. You are no longer weighed down by their betrayal. You have stepped into a new level of authority, and nothing they say or do can pull you back into the past. For so long, they thought they had control over you. They believed that if they ignored you long enough, if they disrespected you enough, times if they surrounded you with doubt, you would break under the pressure. But what they failed to understand is that the chosen ones are built differently. Isaiah 42:31 says, "But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint." You are soaring now. You have walked through the fire and come out purified, not destroyed. You have endured the storm, and instead of being washed away, you have become stronger, wiser, and unshakable. They never expected you to rise this high. They thought that their silence would keep you weak, that their abandonment would leave you stranded. They underestimated the power of a chosen one who has been refined by struggle. What they do not realize is that every setback, every tear, every hardship was only strengthening you. Every battle was making you more resilient. Every closed door was teaching you how to find the path that God had already prepared for you. Romans 8:28 says, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose." Everything that was meant to harm you has been turned in your favor. Now they are watching in disbelief. They see you thriving, walking in confidence, radiating the kind of power that cannot be bought, faked, or manipulated. They are confused because they thought they had buried you. But what they didn't realize is that you were never buried, you were planted. And now you are blooming in a way they never imagined. They see you, but they don't know how to approach you anymore. They feel the shift. They sense the change. The same people who once spoke against you are now whispering about how far you've come. Some of them want to come back, but they know they can't return to you as the same person who left. Proverbs 16:7 says, "When the Lord takes pleasure in anyone's way, he causes their enemies to make peace with them." Some will try to reconnect, not because they truly care, but because they see that the favor of God is on your life. They see the blessings unfolding, and they want to be part of it. They thought you would struggle without them, but instead, you flourished. But hear this: not everyone who wants access to you now deserves a place in your future. Not everyone who finally acknowledges you now should walk with you in this next season. Matthew 7:26 says, "Do not give dogs what is sacred. Do not throw your pearls to pigs. If you do, they may trample them under their feet and turn and tear you to pieces." You have to be discerning. You must recognize that some people are only drawn to the light because they have none of their own. Some people only respect you now because they see others honoring you. Some people only want to be close to you now because they see that you were never the problem they were, but you do not need their validation. You do not need their approval. You do not need their recognition, because what God has for you is already yours. No one can take it away. Psalm 23:5 says, "You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Your table is being set. Your blessings are unfolding." The very ones who doubted you will have no choice but to witness your elevation. This is what happens when the chosen ones step fully into their calling. The attacks could not stop you. The betrayal could not break you. The rejection could not limit you. And now, you are walking with the authority of someone who understands that they were never meant to fit in. You were meant to lead. They will have to accept that they were wrong about you. that they misjudged you, that they underestimated the power inside you, but you don't even have time to look back. Luke 9:62 says, "No one who puts a hand to the plow and looks back is fit for service in the kingdom of God." You are too focused on what's ahead. The past no longer holds power over you. The wounds have healed. The lessons have been learned. The old version of you is gone. This is your new beginning. This is your divine acceleration. This is the moment they feared would come, because once a chosen one realizes their power, there is nothing that can stop them. The shift is here. The transformation is complete, and nothing will ever be the same again. The battle is over. The waiting season has ended. Everything they did to stop you, to silence you, to keep you from stepping into your destiny has failed. The chosen ones are rising, and nothing will ever be the same again. For too long, they tried to keep you trapped in a version of yourself that no longer exists. They spoke against you, doubted you, rejected you not because you were weak, but because they feared. What would happen if you ever realized how powerful you truly are? And now, that moment has come. Isaiah 62:1 says, "Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you." You are no longer walking with hesitation. You are no longer seeking approval. You are no longer bound by their opinions. You have stepped fully into the power that was always inside you. They see it. They feel it. And they don't know what to do. They never thought you would get this far. They never expected you to overcome the obstacles they placed in your path. They never imagined that the one they looked down on, the one they ignored, the one they abandoned would be the very person standing in victory. But that is the power of being chosen. 1 Peter 2:9 says, "But you are a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, God's special possession, that you may declare the praises of him who called you out of darkness into his wonderful light." You are never meant to blend in. You are never meant to stay in the background. You are always meant to stand out, to lead, to be a light in the darkness. And now the world is taking notice. The very ones who doubted you are watching in silence. The same people who dismissed you are now forced to acknowledge your presence. Some of them want to come back, not because they have changed, but because they see the favor on your life. But not everyone can go where you are going. Matthew 22:14 says, "For many are called, but few are chosen." Not everyone is ready to walk the path you are walking. Not everyone has the strength to endure what you have endured. Not everyone has the heart to rise above betrayal, rejection, and hardship the way you did. This is why you must move differently now. The chosen ones do not seek revenge. They do not waste energy trying to prove anything to those who failed to see their worth. They do not look back at the past with anger or regret. Instead, they keep moving forward. They keep building. They keep walking in faith, knowing that every step is divinely guided. Proverbs 3:5-6 says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your path straight." This next season of your life is not about convincing people of your worth. It is not about looking for closure. It is not about waiting for an apology that may never come. It is about stepping into your full potential. It is about embracing the divine assignment placed on your life. It is about walking in the supernatural favor that has been waiting for you. You are about to experience breakthroughs that cannot be explained. Doors will open that you never expected. Opportunities will come that you did not chase. Everything that was delayed will be restored. Joel 2:25 says, "I will restore to you the years that the swarming locust has eaten. What was lost will be returned. What was taken will be multiplied. What was broken will be healed." This is why they are nervous. This is why they are restless. They know that they have no control over what is happening. They know that no matter what they say or do, they cannot stop the favor of God from overflowing in your life, and that is the final confirmation that you have won. You no longer need validation. You no longer need recognition. You no longer need them to see what God has already revealed to you, because you know who you are. Romans 8:37 says, "No, in all these things we are more than conquerors through him who loved us." You are not just surviving, you are thriving. You are not just overcoming, you are excelling. You are not just moving forward, you are accelerating. The shift is undeniable. The transformation is complete. The chosen ones are walking in victory, and nothing will ever be the same again. You are about to enter a season where everything will align effortlessly. No more forcing connections. No more chasing opportunities. No more proving yourself to people who never deserved access to you. The chosen ones do not chase. They attract. They do not beg. They command. They do not wait for permission. They walk in divine confidence. Psalm 37:23 says, "The Lord makes firm the steps of the one who delights in him." Your steps are firm now. Your vision is clear. Your spirit is unshaken. They tried to stop you. They failed. They tried to block you. It didn't work. They tried to erase you. But the chosen ones cannot be erased.